this idea of what we stand for. Who are we? This mission. We've got the vision, worldwide market leader. But what is our mission? This improving life quality worldwide through premium experiences. And it made me think about how important it is to know, what is it that I offer? What do I stand for? Who am I speaking to? What is my mission in this life? And sometimes that will go back to my sense of why. I think what's really, really significant with this lady is this idea of a personal brand. Working out what your personal mission is something which she has identified for herself, and something which she supports other people to achieve as well. Her mission to help the multicultural millennial to gain confidence and earn extra income. I know she's a role model for many people. I got messages from people who couldn't be here today saying, oh, I can't be there, can you record it? No, we can't. You've got to experience her live. International team that she leads from the heart with absolute energy, enthusiasm, experience, and by example. Pleasure to welcome up to me here on the stage, the virtual stage, our Vice President, Olivia Igwe. I always know I should put on heels when not.
No, we don't have any heels because I'm living in a suit. I've been living in a suitcase for 2 weeks. One of the reasons why I don't have like my demo bag and anything is because I didn't have anything.
Well, we're going to freestyle it a little bit. I'm going to ask some questions for Olivia, and then at the end as well, I'm going to throw the floor open a little bit. So you can also during this time think about any questions, what have you always wanted to ask Olivia? Now's your chance. If you don't do it today, we'll ask her tomorrow. But first, tell us a little bit about yourself, Olivia.
Yeah, so my name is Olivia. I am born in the UK. I have a very heavy American accent. Never lived in the US. I just traveled around Europe due to my dad. I'd love to say I'm an expat, but I'm not an expat, because an expat is somebody where your dad would be transferred from companies to companies. He just changed jobs, so that's just one of the reasons. So I'm the, in other words, of the United Nations, because I speak various different languages.
Multicultural.
Yes, multicultural.
In a person.
Yeah.
And how long have you been involved now with PM International?
About, I think it's 3 years. When COVID hit, I started literally because I'm second generation network marketing. My mom was in it. She dragged me to all these events back in the day where you'd have like the suits and everybody would be booted. And when it happened, COVID, I was looking for something, and I don't know if you guys are believers, but I prayed to God and I was like, look, could you bring me something that aligns body, mind, and soul? And I was like, look, God, but don't bring me any network marketing, we're good. And 24 hours, I kid you not, a friend called me up and he's like, look, I have an opportunity for you. I'm like, oh, okay, what is it? Because I'd done a few, and he was like, yeah, it's supplements. I'm like, I don't do supplements. He's like, look, you got 5 hours to decide. And then he just hung up. And then so I joined the business without knowing what it was. I actually put way too much water in my Activize, and I never felt it. He's like, you don't feel it? I'm like, no. He's like, you put too much water in it. So that's how I ended.
So use, talk, don't talk.
Yeah, don't talk. Yeah. And I did it live because I can still remember when you talked about, how did you start with your Activize? And I was like, I put way too much water. And I was live at the time because they said go on live and talk, and everybody's on social media. So I put like one little scoop and then like loads of water. And I was like, yeah, the drink is so not nice and tasty, but whatever. And he's like, you gotta add more.
But it's a curious thing as well. And I mean, quite often we'll get people from the other spectrum of things. And they've been told you need to put as many scoops in until you go red.
Yeah.
So it's again, it's one of those things when we are teaching people how to start. I got my cup here. Quite often you'll see, actually this is one of the old ones on the new in the new demo bags. You'll see a very clear line, 40 milliliters. So when you're doing use talk demo, 1 scoop of active ice with water up to that line is what we would recommend. Perhaps for someone starting out for the first time. But sometimes people experience nothing and don't start. Sometimes people need a little bit more, and they go back to the person introduced to them, and then they make another decision. But what's curious as well, for somebody who was aware of the industry, I must admit, when I started with PM International, I had no idea of direct sales, network marketing, multi-level marketing. This was all completely new to me, so I kind of came in with eyes open. But having been already involved with it, you probably have experienced other companies. What have you noticed has been the difference with PM International for you?
It was more of, one, it was home, it was family. Number two, it was just easy because I felt the product instantly. So it was just easy to be able to have like in the bag. And if you guys seen on my stories, and I probably shouldn't say this, but it doesn't matter. I don't call it the Activize. I call it the crack. So people are always like, so the other day I was talking to a friend and he's like, I'm tired. I was like, do you want some crack or you're good? Because he knows me now. He's like, oh, I got it. Now, of course, you don't need to say that because like I know it with the words, but you could say like the Superman dose. You want like the Superman drink. And so automatically, it just felt easier to talk about it. And so yeah, for me it was that. And then when we got the direct pay, I don't do any stock. The only stock that I have is this one because mine finishes in 2 weeks. So like I take 6 scoops 6 times a day, 3 times depending. And so this one goes really, really fast. But every time I talk to somebody, it was like, you just need your product, and that was it. And so for me, it was that. And then it's just easy. Like everybody is either tired or is wanting more money. So the drink was just perfect.
Yeah, I remember root chakra as well.
Yeah, so we called it the root chakra. We initially started with the root chakra, and then the crack came because a client was running, and her husband was like, he came from home out of nowhere, and he's like, I need some crack. And so that's how the crack came into like my brand. And so, because he runs and he liked the powder, and so that started. And then I heard, who was there? The Lebanese guy that came. Nemo. And then he talked about like the Superman drink, Superman powder. And so I now use the Superman powder. So it's like it's just using what you use.
Yeah, red cake, red drink.
Yeah, red drink, red cake. Yeah.
Honestly, as well, I think this is sometimes. I remember sitting once as an American business academy, and there was a lady, and she was talking about the products, and she called every single product by the wrong name. It was like the Activizer, and sometimes
quite popular in Bulgaria.
Oh yeah,
Activizer.
Sometimes as well, it's about it's the yellow drink and the red drink and the orange drink. Don't worry. Like I said, he's very young. My son is 1 year old. He calls it juice. I don't know this Power Cocktail Junior. Get that right. If he was to call it juice for the rest of his life, he can call it juice. But crack sometimes is. People know what it means. People know what it means. But again, I think this is about finding what works for you. What works for you. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that everyone's making here notes. Go, Activize crack.
No, but you gotta call it into your name. Exactly. I mean, I do CrossFit, I work out, they always see me with the powder, so it's automatic. But then use whatever works for you, because that's what you talked about, branding. It's finding the words where you're not talking in a language that people don't understand. You gotta make it simple. How do you use it? You blend it. You put it in water, you take a scoop, that's it. Don't overcomplicate it. It just is super simple. And I think sometimes when we get into this game, we're wanting to make it so complicated and talk to them about how they can earn money, etc. When at the end of the day, she just wants to drink because she's at university and she just needs some energy. So that's it. I'll talk to her when she feels better, when she needs the money, then I'll talk to her. But right now, it's just the drink.
Yeah, perfect. And again, I think this language that we all find and use being individual for people as well. And I think with Olivia as well, I know there are many people, not just here, but there are people I know worldwide who know you through your social media as well. And I think social media is something where people will look at you and think, right, I need to do what Olivia does in social media. First of all, tell me how you use social media, and then what would be your kind of general guideline for anyone wanting to use that more?
Yeah, so for me, social media, I look like now here, I'm extroverted, but I like my own space. I'm an ambivert. I can go on stage, I'll put on a show, but when I'm at home, like I like my space. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to go out. I just like, and for me, social media has just been a place where you can just share whatever you want to total strangers because they don't know you. And I know it sounds scary because I was telling my mom, and my mom was like, I don't want to go on social media. She's a very person that loves the face-to-face. And maybe that's some of you guys. But social media gets me to touch more people, and the product is all around the world. So my friend, for example, this is how my brand has built. You go on social media to build know, so people know you, they like you, and they trust you. I'll give you a simple example. I had a client, she's in the US, wanted to try the serum that we have. So yeah, this one that you guys see online, wanted a serum and tried it out. Loves it. She's like, Olivia, I want to be able to, order every 3 months. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Where did I find that person? She's on Facebook. But then I was able to get her on Instagram and then to get her also on my WhatsApp. Followed up with her. She couldn't get her credit card because she wanted to do the auto ship. And when you do the auto ship, you need the credit card, etc. This is how the trust goes. I've only known her for a year. She says, Olivia, I'm going to trust you and give you my credit card, but could you put me this system like in the hole so I don't have to do it? I usually don't do it. Usually it's US, the PM, that headquarters that do it. But she trusted me enough to give me her credit card details, even though she hasn't known me before, but has seen me every single day show up just by drinking the drink and talking about, for example, if you guys have, well, you probably don't know, not all, but the last 2 months, I've had a breakup, I've had a grief, I've ended a relationship with 7 years with my boyfriend, and so like it's been hell for the last 2 months. But regardless, I just still show up, and I'm just me. So when you see me offline and online, I'm the same person. And that's what social media is. People will trust you because they see you every day drinking the drink. Some people, I've talked to them about the drink, they will not buy from me. That's fine. You can still follow my stories. And I'm okay with that because there's 8 billion people on the planet. So if you don't want it, that's fine. I'll move to somebody else. So that's how I've just built on social media by just showing. And I always say, if you start with me, start with 7 stories every single day. In your stories, it's 24 hours. And then after it goes. So people have to watch it to know what you're doing. And if it is, like, talk about, like, your new shoes. I think I shared my stories yesterday. These new Tesco socks, Mickey Mouse, that I bought, like slippers. And people are like, they're ugly. I'm like, you're ugly. So it's just building something like that.
I guarantee from this room today, at least 5 people are going to go to Tesco's and
buy those slippers. They're not an offer.
Sure.
A superstore Tesco near where I live, you can get them.
But Tesco is not going to pay you.
Exactly.
No, there you are.
recommending-
That's the difference. That's the difference.
But there was so much valuable content there. I love this idea about know,
Like and trust.
This is in many ways with the products. Yes, they do speak for themselves, but quite often people will start by buying us, buying the product, buying the opportunity as a team partner because they trust us and they're buying into what we are then providing to them too. Also as well, this idea about social media. We do have people who will sometimes do a story even on TikTok or Instagram, and they'll put their link and they'll get something places in order. Quite often I will see that these people don't always then become the next IMM, VP, etc. Perhaps because there's this lacking contact there. So I think it was really valuable, Olivia was saying, the social media, it's like going fishing.
Yeah.
You're putting your hook out there, you're catching the fish, but then you're talking to the fish.
I think we're in a relationship game, so it's understanding. So I did this move because my mentor, Fraser Brooks, he told me, document your story. And by me going through what I'm going through, I'm documenting to also show you what I'm going through, because people relate to pain. They don't relate to, yeah, Olivia's VP. Yeah, Olivia's like, she travels the world. Yeah, Olivia's a fashion stylist. They don't relate to that. They will relate to what you've overcome. So by me sharing my story of like, I don't know what you guys have overcome with the drink, just saying it again and again and again and repeating, and by my friend Dawn that bought in the US and is on an auto ship for the Activise, the serum, she's also going through a divorce. So I get to know and check up on her and say, hey, how are you doing? I'm just checking up. I just wanted to know if all's good. It's those little extra things, and that's the sexiness about network marketing, is that you care for people. And I know at first it seems so like, oh, nobody cares about me, but I swear, if you show up every single day, it definitely will. Like that video and I posted a YouTube video, which I didn't want to do, but I still did it on my transformation. The amount of messages I've received privately from people goes a long way. You guys definitely have I'm nothing special than you guys. The only thing is I'm tall, but that's it.
I'm small, so it's
That's fine.
you look for as well. But I think again, this idea of showing up, consistency as well. On one hand, with the social media, I mean, I don't know who else follows Olivia here. If I didn't get a kind of notification once or twice a day, Olivia is now live, I'd start worrying. Even if I don't join that, I know Olivia as well. If she's sitting there with one person watching or 100,001 people watching, you will still do it with the same energy.
Yeah. So and I know some of you guys maybe don't have social media, you didn't start it. I started, guys, with like not a great following. I think I had Facebook 300 people. I only got onto Facebook, I think maybe 2 years before COVID. So like social media, I was like, I'm gonna build a brand with not needing social media, but that's clearly not the case. And so I started with really no followers, and I've built it. But it's funny because on Facebook, I'm more telling you about my life story. On Instagram and TikTok, my TikTok is like my diary. I just tell you what I'm going through, I story and stuff. And then my LinkedIn has no network marketing, but has branding. Why? Because I only talk on LinkedIn to people that can put me on stages or keynote speech. So it's strategic how I show up, but also, I also just want to share what I have. So in those 7-day stories or what you show up on social media, I was telling my mom, she's great at doing art floral stuff like flowers. And I was telling her to post that because people want to know, not that you're just a therapist and you can help people, but also that, I don't know, you love cars, you love motorbikes, I love food, I love traveling, but I don't do the dishes. Like, funny, I just moved into a new flat. My brother was like, well, great, you have a flat, but like, you're not gonna be cooking. I'm like, that's why I'm gonna sell more so I can get a chef, right? So talk about the things that you love and add that into your every single day.
Be you, do you.
Be you, do you. That's what I always say.
Be
you, do you. Yeah. I was talking to that friend the other day. She was saying, because I always say, okay, I'm gonna love you and leave you. And now she also says to her friends when she goes live, I'm gonna also love you and leave you. So that's what you want to keep into, sprinkling into people that little joy, and it will come back tenfold.
Amazing, amazing. And I don't want to focus too much on social media, but coming perhaps around to this idea about branding as well. How would you say kind of social media works as a kind of business card then, your everyday business card?
Well, social media is your business card. So everything that you show up, it's you. So I intentionally show up with, I'm going to win, or I'm showing up as like the newest version of me. And even if you're not there yet, and you haven't lost the weight, or you haven't got the recognition, or whatever it is that your dreams are, I'm still showing up as if I'm already there. So even with your PM, your drinks, your products, like I'm showing you the drink every morning. I'm gonna drink it, and I'm gonna bother you every single morning with my first two slides. I'm always drinking it. And then I'll talk to you about, coming to the event or whatever. Because when you document your story, what's great about social media is that it saves it. So the other day, I think it was a year ago, I was living in the flat that I lived before, and my brother was looking for a flat. And I went live saying, hey guys, and it was a 4-minute video, live video. I was saying, hey guys, my brother's looking for a flat. And I was blending the active ice, and you can see the transformation of where I was before to like a year ago. That's why social media is great, is you can document so people see your transformation, because they're not going to buy the drink. They could get it from anybody else, but they'll buy it from you because you have shared something that they feel special with. And that's what you guys need to understand, is if you just show up being you, it will change the game.
Fantastic. And I think that's as true for real life as it is for social media. Exactly the experiences we saw today. What is this? What is this? What is this? That curiosity, but also that trust there as well. It doesn't have to be on social media. It can just be in our day-to-day life. How are we living? What is the lifestyle we're putting out, and how are we as people kind of putting ourselves out there too? I think you just touched on, when you mentioned about events there as well. Yeah. You're someone who will regularly be at our events, whether they're business academies, national congresses, across in Germany, World Management Congress, or Luxembourg, wherever it was the last time. How important are the events for you?
Events is where I can get my cup fueled, sometimes you pour so much to other people, you give, but you don't receive. For me, this is where I receive. My last 2 months have been intense like hell. But me coming today, talking or just listening to Ian giving examples of, for example, this one that you see, telling stories. you know, putting the serum on your face and feeling that it's like the water from the Highlands up in Scotland. Like, I saw that in my mind. Had I not been here, I would have not have picked up that word. I even wrote it down. I'm like, I'm gonna use that now. Because like you hear things, and it's not, if I can help you guys in something, it's not about where you are on a rank, right? Because a rank doesn't, it's how you lead as a person. And by you coming to the event, documenting, you get one nugget. One nugget will get you closer to your dream. And so for me, that's where events are just, I will come, there's one person. I will come, there's 5 people. I will come, there's 20 people. It does not matter. It's about you and your transformation, because you can inspire and share your story, like what you've learned.
I'm glad I gave you, and you're half Scottish as well. So
yes, I'm Scottish, yeah.
Better. So, I think as well, and this about getting the cup filled up, it's something I love, this idea as well, that when you're feeling a little bit down, you need the event. When you're feeling up, the event needs you. It works both ways. And I think regardless of how your weeks have been, it's kind of interesting how people feel it. Everybody's gaining from you while you're kind of gaining from this too. So it really does cut both ways. Coming back to this idea of branding, about knowing what it is that you do. How important is this for you?
So how is branding important to me?
Yeah, and perhaps for everybody here, knowing, you know, to whom am I speaking? What am I?
Oh, okay.
What is my mission?
Yeah, the mission is going to be different from to anybody else's, because people are going to buy from you. So my customer is going to be completely different from yours. And that's the beauty of it. I was talking to my mom. My mom's a therapist and naturopath and has traveled around the world. Her clientele will be completely different from mine, because what I've been through, I've helped and I can overcome. So branding is so important because, and please don't get me wrong, Fitline is perfect. It's great. It's the best company on the planet. But you need to understand what is it you are bringing to the table. And I would encourage you tonight to write down everything that you've overcome. You know, I've overcome, for example, abortion, 2 abortions. I've overcome supposed to get married, but then the guy dumped me, and so when we were in Spain, I've overcome that. I've overcome, you know, traveling different countries. I've overcome, or I've gained, you know, working with great people, whatever it is. Write them all down, get up to 20, and that will be the build of your foundation of who you are. And then from that, you can weave in how Fitline helped you. Like for me, when I started, it was because I was looking for an extra income. I wasn't happy working as a stylist, and if I'm sick, I don't get paid. And if I do have people that work for me, they don't want to work with my assistants. They want to work with Olivia, because Olivia has something to offer. And so I was looking for a system where if I don't work, I still get paid. And so Fitline PM International came in perfectly, because I wanted to be the face of, when you think of Olivia, what do you think? You think energy, you think CrossFit, you think supplements, you think you can earn money, or you can like build a brand. And those are the 4 things. You open half of me, and I always say, you open me, there's one side, there's food, there's network marketing, there's family, and there's friends. Food, friends, fashion, they want. Yeah. I'm like, friends, no, that's fashion, food, friends, and Fitline. Like that's all I have. Find your 4 core values and then just repeat it. Just like when you watch them, and I'll wrap it up with some, you can ask more questions if you want, but when you watch the news, it always is at 8 o'clock. In France, it's at 8 o'clock. Starts at 8 o'clock, finishes 8:40. What is it that you can repeat all the time, your story? And sometimes you'll think, yeah, but that's boring. Yeah, but boring, calling people, doing your names list is boring, but it's what gets you to consistency and what gets you to the other side.
No, the 8 o'clock news is 8 o'clock here.
Yeah, okay, 8 o'clock. Okay, yeah, because it's 8 o'clock, yeah,
But no, I think that's really significant. I love that idea as well about writing down, and if you've got a little bit of a homework, maybe think about that as well. What is it that you've been through?
Yeah.
You know, and congratulate yourself for that, and have this idea, you know, I've not come this far to come this far. We're all such resilient people, but certainly having this idea of why is what then kind of pushes you forward as well. I think absolutely amazing. But big round of applause for the. And, are there any questions that you would like to ask Olivia? You don't have to. Anybody got any questions?
Although I will say this,
You've got a question for Olivia.
no, well, I have a question for myself. No, but like, because you did say something you pointed out. So when you start Fitline or you start PM, whatever, you started for something, and then at some point you're going to alter. And that's okay to alter and change your message. Because I know sometimes we're like, oh yeah, I just wanted to start to earn an extra 150 euros. Perfect, whatever. But then the branding part is where you just say, okay, in your mission, so your homework tonight, give you homework, is to list out what Ian said, just everything that you've overcome. And then next is I help X2. So as of Monday, and you'll see in my stories, my message is still the same. I help the multicultural millennial, but I'm helping 1,000 women to earn 1,000 pounds, right? So I help X2X is what you guys need to find now, because that will be your next motto for I don't know, the next 3 months. Once you hit that goal, you'll change the sentences of like, I help, I don't know, women. So just that little thing that I think will help you guys out, because that will be your mission, and the more you repeat it, will be remembered. So, yeah.
I think that's a perfect way to wrap it up. Well done.